Today my guest is Mike O'Hagan. Mike might be familiar to some of you from his businesses in Australia with Mini Movers, but he may not be familiar to you with his current entrepreneurial ventures in the Philippines. Mike's the CEO and founder of Mike's Manila Tours. Mike, welcome to the program. And can you tell us what Mike's Manila Tours are about and how did you get started in this business?
Look, the tour themselves are about a 3-day intensive tour in Manila and in Clark and Angeles, two different cities, where I bring Australian businesses, USA and Canadians and a couple of UK people across, and we spend 3 days in a van visiting 20 or 30 businesses that supply services and product and people to people in Australia, UK and the thing. And we show them what they're doing, what they're not doing, what goes wrong and how it works.
That's a long way from where you've usually been in business. How did you get started in Mike's Manila Tours?
With the GFC, my Australian business got into strife. And when it got into strife, I had to turn around red ink into black ink as quick as I could. And reducing overheads was the easiest way to do it through using the Philippines. What I didn't realise is how great the Filipinos was and how much increased productivity you get out of here. So I brought a lot of the back-end processes up after the GFC, and I was quite successful in what I did. And along the way, I had a few bruises and scratches. I learned a few lessons. Then I watched other Australians coming up and I watched them progressively getting it wrong, setting it up the wrong way, falling for the wrong sales pitch and everything else. So I invited a few Australian business friends up, showed them around, and at the end of it they said, "That's fantastic, we've never learned so much. All the conferences we've been to, we've never seen so much." So out of that grew this 3-day intensive business learning tour where I show you how you can get Filipinos to work for you in Australia, the different ways you can set them up, the 7 different ways you can structure it. I show you all 7 different ways, the points for and against each one. I also show you the culture differences, what they can do really well and what they don't do so well, and how you can structure and build a team to really grow your business. And while I'm doing that, I give it to a big dose of entrepreneurship where we actually look at a lot of the business models of the businesses coming up and we work with change and that and trying to modernise them and update that with the offshoring that's happening around the world now.
Now, Mike, I want to move on to entrepreneurship with you in just a minute, but I do want to just make sure that none of our viewers have got the wrong impression here because I did your tour a little over a year ago, and I think it's important that this is not seen as a passive classroom exercise. How many people go on tour with you?
We range between 6 and 8, although recently we've been running them 15 in. We're getting a little bit of demand and we can up rank it. But normally 6 is the ideal number, 8's a bit full, 15's a second vehicle, and that's the sort of numbers. And we workshop you in groups. We have a lot of structured lectures, and in between the lectures we go and visit a lot of places. We actually visit 20 to 30 actual workplaces, and then after them as a group we analyse what we've seen and discuss how it would fit into each of the business models.
Now, I know, Mike, as a result of doing your tour, I changed my business strategy dramatically. Is that an unusual story? What have you found?
No, it's quite, I think about 50% of the businesses, people coming up, changed their business strategy quite radically. And of course, you had a business model that was very focused and we gave you a global look and also with some processes around how you can multiply and grow it out. And I'm a big believer in systemising and duplicating. I'm a huge believer that business owners should own a business. That's something that works for them. They should not actually work in it, and you should need to delegate yourself into growth. And you've done that very, very well. I'm quite proud of where you've got so far.
Thank you for the compliment. Now, Mike, I said I'd get back to entrepreneurship, and I know it's one of your passions. Why is it that entrepreneurship consumes so much of your time and energy?
Look, I'm semi-retired now. I've got very successful businesses. I currently own 6 businesses in 4 different countries, and I'm doing very well out of all of that. And I can, looking ahead for my daughter, my granddaughter, looking at Australia, looking at where it's going, and I can tell you the future of Australia can only come from the entrepreneurs that we create today. And I believe very sadly that Australia is not very good at creating entrepreneurs, very good at creating business managers. It's very good at creating people that work inside their business and become slaves to their businesses. But I think we really need to create entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is about growing businesses, and today it's about globally growing businesses. And if we can teach more people to globally grow businesses, that's going to be the future of Australia. That's where the future growth can come from, and it can only come from entrepreneurships.
And Mike, time's running away from us, but if I can put you on the spot on a question without notice. what are the three things that you would say to anyone who is thinking of outsourcing around the world or into the Philippines? What do you think are the three things that are absolute must-haves for them?
I think you've got to structure it properly. You can go online to Upwork or Odesk and hire somebody very quickly, but they work from home. There's some problems with that. You can go in. You've got to structure it properly. If you want to build a team and grow it, there's another type of structure you've got to put it into. If you want somebody to run it all for you and just give the result back, that's another structure. I think you've got to learn those structures and do the correct structure. I think that's the first thing you've got to get right. I think the second thing you've got to get right is you've got to understand where the good places to set it up. My favourite thing is I say to people, if you're going to put a call centre into Australia, would you go and put it in the main street of Sydney, or would you go and put it in Newcastle? And you've got to understand that in every country has those same choices, and you have those choices here. I think you've got to locate it properly to get the right staff to work for you in the right situation. And I think the third thing is you've got to understand that these are people, these are workers the same as any team anywhere. As a business owner, it's your job to encourage them, to motivate them, and to pull them together as a team and give them all to row in one direction. And that applies to your Filipino team as much as it applies to your Australian team or any other country team. They're exactly the same. You're still going to have those motivators in there. You can't hand that to somebody else. That's the business owner's responsibility. That's no different. The other three things, if you get those right, the rest will fall into place quite well.
Mike, thank you for that, and thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy man. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
You can email me directly. My email is simply my name, mike@ohagan, ohagan.com.au, or you can go online to Mike's, that's MIKES, Manila Tours, TOURS.com, and you can, through that website, there's various forms you can fill out and that'll contact me directly. So mikesmanilatours.com or email me direct.
As I said, Mike O'Hagan, CEO and founder of Mike's Manila Tours. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thanks. Thank you very much.